Good afternoon, everybody. Kevin here. Welcome back. I'm ready to jump into episode 9 of The Sopranos. Really, a lot happened in that last one. I felt like we focused so much on Christopher. And yeah, judging by comments on Patreon, I was not the only one that caught the very obvious reference with Christopher shooting the kid in the foot to Goodfellas, where he had his own foot shot by Joe Pesci. So really nice callback to that. Little illusory nod from the writers there. So it was a lot of the difficulty Christopher's having, largely with the guy he killed. I can't remember his name. At the beginning of the butcher shop in episode 1, I believe, um, where he kind of took it upon himself to kill a guy. And a lot of what he was struggling writing a screenplay, he thought it would be easy to just be able to crank one out. I've never written a screenplay, but I'm fairly confident that it's not quite that simple. But his confidence kind of gets a bit of a boost when he sees his name in the paper as a target of the FBI, which is kind of counterintuitive to somebody in his job, unless he's really just after the notoriety, which kind of makes you think he's not a serious person in any way, kind of romanticizing the life that he's living. Obviously, he's a younger guy, but I feel like in the particular line of work in which he finds himself, the less the interest from law enforcement you have, the better. And Christopher's way into the notoriety. The thing that caught me as bigger that I kind of held on to throughout the week, thinking about getting ready for this week, was the end where Livia tells Junior that Tony is in therapy, which is, of course, incredibly dangerous to Tony, right? Um, because if the family, the mob, whatever, finds out that Tony is telling secrets he shouldn't be telling to his therapist, that's dangerous for everybody. Not to mention the fact you really want somebody in such a high position as Tony who's seeking therapy. Obviously, this was a time before the therapy was as mainstream as it is now, where we're understood and accepted, and this is still was kind of stigmatized a lot, especially for men. I feel like the line that really stuck with me was Livia tells this information. Juno looks like he's about to freak out about it, but Livia says, "I don't want there to be any repercussions." Which means you can say like, "Oh, maybe she doesn't realize what she's telling Junior is that serious." But in saying that, I don't think there'd be repercussions. I think she knew what she was doing, like she always has. She plays up her like, "I don't know what you're talking about. I'm a sweet old lady" stuff an awful lot, while kind of pulling strings to get conflict going. She's really good at creating conflict among people. Junior's an easy mark. He's obviously easy to steer for her, which I'm assuming her husband was too, since they're brothers. So she kind of already knows what buttons to push, and it worked. And so I don't buy it when she said, "I don't want there to be repercussions." I think she knew exactly what she was doing, and I think she is that petty, that she and awful that she doesn't mind that she, you know, deliberately put her son in danger as revenge for being in the home. So we shall see. But I think there's going to be new conflict, which looked like it had been completely evaded, right, between Junior and Tony. But I think that's what bothered her, that they weren't fighting, that they were getting along. And she found a way to stir up the hornet's nest again, because that's what she does. Olivia is, in my estimation, a terrible person. Before we get going, I want to thank all our Patreon subscribers for being here, and especially want to give a shout out to Actuarial Lurker, Balas Foldes, Chris, Jeff, NJ, and Suri Gundavarapu. Thank you so much, guys. We're really happy you're here with us. If you'd like to see a full length reaction to this and everything else we've watched or watching, please check out the link in the description below our Patreon page. On all of our shows, including Sopranos, we're at least 4 episodes ahead on Patreon of where we are on YouTube. So if you get done watching this and want to keep going, that's the place you can do it. You will have to sync and watch along on your own source material. You will only see and hear me for copyright purposes. I don't know on this show how New Jersey and New York feel about how they're portrayed in this show, because it's not in a great light, I don't feel like, overall, because it's a show about criminals, right? The criminal underworld. Joe and I are almost done with Mad Men on the channel, and we're going to be starting The Wire after that. I don't know much about The Wire. Obviously, it's considered like the prestige police show, so I'm pretty excited to watch that. Um, but I don't know where it's set. I want to say Baltimore, but I'm not 100% sure if that's right. It might be New York. I don't know where The Wire is set, but I think I've heard it's a Baltimore police show before. I read it somewhere before, and I'm kind of curious, because it's kind of the same thing, right? It's cops and criminals, I'm sure, and if it gets portrayed in a way that upset Baltimore or New York or wherever it's set, I'm curious to find out.
Those dogs are wild dogs, cemetery dogs. They'll take your hand off.
Cemetery dogs. They might be. I never heard that phrase before.
Lay off. He's a kid.
So he should neglect his eldest, just like his father.
Yeah, real scamp.
Why is Junior coming across as the really reasonable one here?
My son was brought up right. He needs a psychiatrist for what?
See, this is all about her.
Enough. I hate it as much as you do.
Anthony, those dogs could start foaming at the mouth.
And she is really an easy character to hate.
Oh my God, Meadow, look out!
Come on, come around, come around! Up!
Oh, it's Artie. I haven't seen him for a while.
Look at you with girls soccer, Tony.
What do you want from me? My only son's a couch potato.
That's true. Is that his daughter? Well, she's got skills. My dad did not coach, or my mom, so I was never a coach's kid to know what that dynamic's like.
Did I tell you? Did I tell you? He's a brilliant coach. He's a beautiful, brilliant genius.
At 2 points, we split the interest. Nice.
Still trying to help him
I can't do the
out.
math, Tone. I'm an artiste.
I think it's interesting that the dynamic of Tony and Artie really maintains a relationship despite their life paths. Like Tony is who he is, and Artie is just straight legit.
Al? Allie? Al?
That's a giant bottles they're drinking out of. It's like pure alcoholics. Oh, is she okay?
Or was it a suicidal gesture? Small cutting is the clinical term.
What's large cutting? OJ in the missing tracksuit?
Oh my God.
Where does our research and development take us this time?
Well, I was thinking Boca Raton.
Okay, so I was wondering if this was the girl he travels with.
Let's you and I meet. I can pass my recommends on to my cousin.
Didn't catch what that envelope. Was it a payoff, or is he worried about listening?
Hey,
There he
James,
is.
how you doing? Did you get your mother settled into a suite yet?
They're not sure they're gonna accept her.
Oh my God. All putting their mothers in there so they can use it as a front.
Coach, look at my little girl out there. You're breaking her heart.
Come on, man. Let the guy follow his career.
Look, buddy, I got a family too. I happen to have a daughter who loves playing soccer very much. I was just kidding about the offer thing.
Was that a threat, or is he actually offering him money to stay?
Come on, let's circle up for keep away. Let's go. Over here. Get big circle. Go, come on, move it.
Is she just mad that he's leaving? Man, these people take their soccer seriously.
I did. As soon as I saw you, I knew.
Yes, sweetheart.
You know what? For the last 2 episodes, I haven't been skeeved out by Junior as much as I used to. I love that this show does that.
I would have killed his coach to stick around until my kid graduates.
Then let him stay 4 years.
Come
for
on,
Kiara.
man. Oh, come on. Don't bother him. He shouldn't be wearing a hat in the restaurant. Fine, it's not your place to tell him.
Excuse me?
They don't sell hot dogs here. They took the bleachers out 2 years ago.
It's my hat. I'll wear it where I want.
Oh, God. This is the wrong guy to mouth off to. I'm serious. I would take it off. Oh, my God. So uncomfortable.
Are you sure, Allie? Yeah, I had a long talk with Coach Hauser, and I'm gonna play. That's all.
Okay, there's something more going on.
How the hell's he gonna pressure her? Didn't have to call you on to stick around and finish what he started.
Dad.
What?
Okay, there's something weird going on here. I'm kind of wondering why we're following Junior so much just on his vacation. That's not something that the show's done, really. Like following secondary characters when they're not really doing things pertinent to the plot.
If this is about Rhode Island, you can tell your friends it's a done deal. I already signed.
I don't know what it's about, but the TV stays here.
Oh, I understand, all right. Only too well. You tell your friends I know all about them.
If you did, you'd do what they want.
Oh my god.
I will not be threatened or bribed.
They shouldn't be threatening or bribing him, but I'm not sure I trust this guy anymore.
Nobody tells me anything.
Did everybody hear me just tell my mother about the game?
Can anybody think of anything else to talk about except soccer?
Yeah, I think Meadow knows something.
Uncle June, how was Boca?
Wonderful. I don't go down enough.
That's not what I heard.
Oh no!
Can I be excused?
We just sat down.
How you gonna play tomorrow? You don't eat.
He's right, Med. You need protein.
No, I don't, because I quit.
Yeah, there's something serious on the soccer team.
Junior, take me home.
I'm not finished.
You mind, Uncle June. She'll come back.
Toxic family all the way around. It's kind of feel bad for Anthony Jr. And probably Meadow. There's something there that I think we still got a reveal coming.
As if a TV set is gonna get somewhere with a man like Coach Hauser.
And he's right.
Arthur, do you honestly believe that they're gonna stop there? They tried bribing this man.
Oh, I think it's going to get a lot worse.
You grew up in the neighborhood. Don't pretend like you don't know what Tony Soprano is capable of.
Yeah, she does hate him. And I get it.
Where's Petey? I thought he was locked in.
Yeah, come get him. I won't want Petey to get hit by a car.
This sucks. Also, the guy will stay coaching the high school girls soccer. I watch Ted Lasso. It's football.
What, no reward? Just kidding. I'm an animal lover.
That was not subtle.
You can cheer up about the coach, because I got a feeling he's going to reconsider the big move.
Tony.
Did you do something?
Yes.
Point is, he's going to stick around and finish what he started with the girls, that's all.
Oh, yeah, he did something.
So what difference does that make? You don't have to love him to be successful. Catfish Hunter hated Billy Martin. Bill Parcells, his guys, they can't stand him.
I can't believe he's not picking up
Coach
on this
Hauser
at
had
all.
sex with Allie.
Yeah, I figured that's what it was.
That's why I've been practically living at her house.
Hold on a minute. Maybe
Process.
there was some confusion. Maybe she wanted to look like she was sophisticated in your guys' eyes.
Dad!
Yeah, don't rationalize this, man.
Tony, what if this had been Meadow? What kind of confusion? A girl that age? The coach should not have been in any position where there's even a remote possibility of confusion.
Yeah. Process.
Mom, I only told you I wouldn't make Coach Hauser stay here.
Meadow, this is a horrible, horrible thing.
Is this why the guy moves around so much?
But what about Dina? If she finds out about her father, it'll totally destroy her life. Just tell Dad to let him go anywhere he wants, okay?
What a mess.
Very glad to hear you say that. I'm gonna give him a real after-school special.
Yeah, okay, they both have daughters on the team. All three of them have daughters on the team.
He deserves to die. Betraying children?
See, now Artie's kind of seeing... Interesting. Artie's the one with the real arc here. It's Artie, who was so standoffish, with Tony, the criminal, is now seeing some personal value to that relationship for the first time.
Whoa, Junior.
Oh, Junior what?
Yeah.
Uncle June's in a muff.
Yep, here we go.
Oh, did I say muff? I meant rough.
Do these guys not realize there are consequences for this kind of flippancy?
Hey, listen, my friend. At least I can deal with my own problems. Unlike some I know.
What's that supposed to mean?
Take it however you want.
God, this is blown up over gossip.
There's guys in prison that have done half the damage this prick has.
The judicial system has gotten much better in dealing with sexual predators.
Oh, yeah. Let's impeach him.
Wow, that was actually pretty funny.
What would you do? You'd call the cops. Who'd get some judge? Who'd give him psychiatric counseling? So maybe he could talk about his unhappy childhood. And
A lot of projection here about how much he doesn't he's attacked in therapy.
But I continue to ask the question, why do you think you, Anthony Soprano, always has to set things right?
I don't know how any of this is going to resolve itself, but it's going to be violent.
I drove by his house. I almost got out.
but you didn't.
That's exactly what everyone else has been saying. It's about you. Yeah. This is a very tough issue because Tony does have the power to deal with it, but it's also not right for him to do it in the way that he wants. It's so complex. Oh, that is so degrading. I mean, I'm glad he didn't smack her around, but God.
Oh, no, Grano, don't leave. I love you.
Oh my God. I don't know why this is bumming me out to the extent that it is. Because, I mean, he didn't smack her around, but still, that's so sad.
Leave it alone. Yeah, no problem.
Colleagues and neighbors were shocked to hear of charges brought against Donald Hauser.
I mean, really, that was the right call. I know, it'd feel good to do something worse, but. Whoa. Whoa.
Tony. Come here. We have a good time. We don't talk. We all get...
I have seen my dad like this when I was little, and I did not enjoy it.
Tony, what is this? Oh, Jesus.
Well, I feel like it is. I never looked. I never do. I don't know if this is a 10-episode season, so I don't know if next week's the finale. But I feel like the biggest issue moving forward from this is the fact that Junior told Mikey that Tony's going to a psychiatrist, and now he's a threat. And then it seems like Mikey's kind of pushing him to, well, Mikey and everybody is kind of pushing him to possibly kill Tony. So that felt like early on in the run of the show that we were building towards conflict between, like real conflict between Tony and Junior. And now and that kind of went away. Like Tony did a good job of putting Junior in charge and kind of stroking his ego a little bit and kind of burying the hatchet. And it worked really well for a while, but of course that wasn't a long-term solution and never was going to be. But I feel like the end of that peacetime has come a lot faster. Man, people, the thing with the secret that I shall not name because this will be on YouTube, Junior's secret. Everybody talking about it, and then Tony kind of throwing it in his face because he was mad at him about a comment Junior made about him blowing a baseball game when he was a kid. It just riled everything up. Nobody's good at de-escalation on this show, I can tell you that. Maybe Dr. Melfi is. I feel like Artie was really trying to de-escalate some things, and it worked, but it didn't feel like it in the moment. So the separation of that, the time there, and Tony throwing him out of the bar and going back and forth with the phone, I think that's great writing and execution because you don't really know if what Artie said is what got to Tony or if his own like emerging awareness of the world around him from seeing a therapist kind of led him there. So, or what the mix is, right? Maybe what Artie said really got to him. Maybe what Dr. Melfi said. Why do you feel like you have to solve this problem? This isn't a you problem. Anyway, and maybe that's what it was, or probably a mix, that he's had more than one person that he trusts tell him this is not the route you want to go. And he went the more out of his character route. I mean, you don't think of a guy like Tony Soprano in the job that he has being someone who would call the police on somebody, like for almost anything, especially something serious, which this was. So I feel like there's growth shown in Tony here. You don't really know what the motivation is for it. I think that's really kind of interesting, right? Is it an internal motivation that he's learned through the therapy, or is it an external motivation? If I do this, I will upset Artie and Dr. Melfi. I think a really good television show with really complex characters, as this obviously is, doesn't really give you a blatant, easy, obvious answer to that question. And I'm glad. It's more realistic and more human to kind of be left with some ambiguity there. I can kind of see the impact, the influence that this show, and I want to say this is probably around 2000, 99, 2000 when this episode was made. It really kind of lets you see the origin of the anti-hero and the idea of how you're not really supposed to know how to feel about a lead character. Someone pointed out on Patreon, I just put up the college visit episode, right, where it's the first time we see Tony kill somebody, and they said that the creators of the show were told by HBO, like, you can't end the episode like this. You can't have Tony. You can't have your lead kill this guy in cold blood because everyone's going to hate him. And then, of course, that was before the age of the anti-hero. This probably largely kicked it off, right? That the writer's like, well, I'm making this show, so you do what you want with it. Don't air it. And of course, they aired it, and of course, it was an incredible episode. And it probably really helped create that episode in particular, right, where we first see Tony be truly evil, create the conversation around, am I supposed to like the lead of this show, or am I supposed to hate the lead of this show? And we've had a million anti-heroes. We've had a conversation like that about afterwards, right? We have a Don Draper and a Walter White, and God knows how many more anti-heroes we had to have that conversation about, right? That owe a lot to clearly owe a lot to Tony Soprano. I want to see what Tony is moving forward now. If he's a more thoughtful person, to someone who kind of controls his baser impulses a little bit, like he did in this episode, through tremendous effort. But you also have to wonder, like, well, how much is this obviously emerging conflict with Junior, where everybody, including his own mother, Livia, is kind of pushing him towards? How's that going to interfere with his journey to becoming a better person? I don't even know if better is the right word. Less depressed and more self-accepting person, I guess. Because I don't think good person is really in the cards for Tony. Ever. But we shall see moving forward, huh? We'll catch you next one, guys.